Hello, welcome to my presentation. My name is Balu Tukela. Today I am going to talk about sampling techniques and procedures. Let us talk firstly about population and a sample. Population consists of entire elements. Here, population doesn't necessarily mean about people or human beings. Rather, it is a collection of individuals, items, or objects that are going to be studied. The part of population that is going to be studied is called as target population. Sometimes population and target population may be the same in terms of size and in terms of extent, meaning when researcher is going to include all the population in his study, at that time population and target population is the same. But on the other side, if researcher is going to take some part of total population, that part may be considered as target population. And a survey that includes all the members of the population is called as census, whereas a sample is a part of population that is selected for a study. Here, sample means simply a part that is derived from target population for the study purpose. And the way that we select sample from population is called as sampling technique. And sample should be representative. What does it mean? The characteristics of sample should represent the characteristics of population. Let us look at this picture. Here I have dots, collection of dots, and we may consider this as a population together. And if one researcher is going to study about nature or the position of those dots, then he has two chances or options. Firstly, collecting information on all elements or on all the parts of those dots, that is called as census. And second option is selecting some dots. Look at here, selecting some dots that represent the characteristics of population here is called as sample. Those selected part or subset of population that represents the characteristics of population is called as a sample. The way that we collect or bring out certain elements to include in our study is called as sampling. The way that we derive or the way that we obtain sample from population is called as sample or sampling or sampling procedures. Let us talk about inferring about population parameters. Here we have certain terms: statistic, parameters, census, sample, population. when we start from population to study the characteristics or the behavior of population or sample, we have two directions or two alternatives to do that. One, simply including all elements of population in our study, that is called as census, and finding the relationship among such variables or among such parameters depending on the census is called as parameter. Parameter is estimator of population. For example, population mean, population standard deviation, population variance, like that. Another way is that by taking certain parts of population as a sample based on sampling technique and estimating such estimates of sample, we call it statistic. And then we refer about population parameter. Population parameter. The way that we select sample from population is called as sampling. And the way that we estimate a statistic, for example, sample mean, sample standard deviation, sample variance, is called as estimation. And the value is called as statistic. Sample statistic. And population value is called as parameter, not a statistic. It is called as here parameter. Is it possible to estimate parameter? Is it advisable? Here it is not advisable to directly estimate parameter. Parameter means population mean, population variance, population standard deviation, like that. It is not advisable because census needs a huge capital, or undertaking or studying behavior of all elements, characteristics of all members may be unmanageable under census, or collecting information or data from the subjects that have the same characteristics is not as required. Therefore, rather than going to parameter by using census, it is better going this direction. Taking sample from population, estimating about sample statistic, and then referring about population parameter rather than going to do directly. What does it mean inference? Inference means generalizing about the population parameter from sample statistic. We may generalize or we may talk about population parameters from sample statistic. Look at those terms. Parameter, population, number that describes about population. It is a fixed, but we do not know its value. If we do not know its value, then we have another chance. That is by taking a sample and estimating a statistic and inferring about value of parameter. Therefore, we use sample statistic to estimate the unknown parameter. For example, sample mean is our estimate of population mean. This sample mean is used to infer, to generalize, to talk about population mean. But The problem of sample mean is that it changes. This sample mean changes depending on change of sample. When sample size changes or sampling method changes, sample mean, sample statistic changes. And then we have sampling distribution of sample statistic. Here we have sampling techniques or sampling procedures. Generally, we have two types of sampling technique. The first one is non-probabilistic, and the second one is probabilistic sampling method. Let us talk about firstly non-probabilistic sampling method. The first one is convenient sampling method. Sometimes researchers use convenient system or convenient place for data collection or determining sample size. For example, one professor who is going to do his research on quality of education may decide on sitting in his office and collect data on his students who comes to his office. Here, sitting in office is a convenient place or convenient system. And he may collect data on those individuals who come to his office. At that time, he selected convenient sampling method. Another one, volunteers sampling method. Here, the sampling method is based on willingness of respondents. We undertake our research or study only on those individuals who have willingness to do with us. Snowball sampling method. Here we assume that respondents who have such problem know each other. Or here respondents face the same problem, they know each other. For example, if we are going to do research on effect of illegal trade in economy, at that time we may select, if we could have first respondent, then to collect data from second respondent, the first respondent may direct us to go second respondent, because those participants or those members of such problem or such system, they know each other. Therefore, one respondent can easily direct the second respondent like that. Quota sampling, judgment sampling. Judgment sampling sometimes it's called as purposive sampling. The sampling method, it is decided based on the knowledge or the experience of researcher in the area. Researcher who has experience in the area or who has a knowledge in the area may decide on the size or on the elements of the study based on his experience. Such type of sampling is called as judgment sampling. Other one is quota sampling. Quota sampling may be based on different benchmarks. For example, it may be based on age, based on sex, size of company, or depending on different things, it can be set. Therefore, the representativeness of such type of data depends on the way that we reason out using such base or benchmark as a quota division. Generally, regarding non-probabilistic sampling method, it is impossible to generalize, to talk about population by starting from sampling, or it is generally challengeable to talk about population. We can't inference about population because the way that we selected our sample, it may be biased. Therefore, using non-probabilistic sampling method, it is not appropriate way of sampling method. What are advantages of using such non-probabilistic sampling method? They are more easy to select respondents or sample size and collect the data. But the problem is that the size of sample or the nature or the characteristics of sample may not represent the characteristics of population. Let us talk about probabilistic sampling method. In case of probabilistic sampling method, here we have random sampling method, systematic sampling method, stratified sampling method, cluster sampling method, and multi-stage sampling methods. First, let us look simple random sampling method. Here, in case of simple random sampling method, each member has an equal chance to be selected. And the probability of being selected is n small n over capital N. The size of sample over population size. That is the probability of each member to be selected. And we continue selection up to our sample size. To do simple random sampling or to select individuals, researcher may use a computer or calculator or table of random or lottery method. We can use different sampling methods. Here we have those toes as a population. And this is a picture that is taken from web source. And let us assume those toes or pictures as a population. If we are going to use simple random sampling method, each member has equal chance to be chosen. Then we randomly select sample. For example, from these pictures, I selected randomly those toys. And this is a way of selecting samples randomly. Let us look about systematic random sampling method. Here we have a certain list of people or target population, and we select case number or case member of such target population. How can we have case number? We divide population size by desired sample size. when we divide population size by sample size, we obtain one term, one number, that is a k. And we select our sample by jumping or by skipping those case member. We include case member. And what makes systematic random sampling random is that the first member is selected randomly. And it is more or less similar with simple random sampling method because of first term is used or selected randomly. First term is selected randomly. But to use this sampling method, the list of population or target population should be ordered randomly. Otherwise, our sampling method will be biased. Look at here. Types of systematic random sampling method. This one is proportional. I will come back to that. Let us assume that there are 40 members as a population. From 40 students, we want to have only 8 individuals to be included in our sample. To do that, we divide 40 total population, total number of students by number of desired sample. That is 5. Then 5 means K. And we select 5th member of this population. 5th member of this population may be considered as a sample in case of systematic random sampling method. But even though we know the 5th one became as a member of our sample, but we do not know which member becomes first member or first sample in our sample. Therefore, the first sample that we took is random. First. Then, basic point here is that if our sample is, for example, if the K is 5, the value that we take as a K ranges from 1 to 5, between 1 and 5. And we randomly select this one. For example, fourth one. Fourth one is included as a sample in our study. And then we go to 5th one. Depending on K, we include in our study 5th one. Already this is selected. Then we start from this. We count from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We include this, the 5th one. To include the third sample, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also included. Start then from here, like that. We include those numbers as a member of our sample. As when we look at advantage of systematic sampling method, it is easier to identify than random sampling method. Stratified sampling method. In case of stratified sampling method, we divide our population into smaller subgroups based on certain benchmark or based on certain basis or central variables in our study. For example, if we are going to study about poverty, we may classify the area into rural and urban. Or individuals, for example, may, based on sex, male or female. By using different base marks or benchmarks, we can create a strata. And such groups, they are called as strata. And one strata, one group from such strata is called as strata. And basic point here is that members within each stratum should be homogeneous. Members in each strata should be homogeneous. This is a basic point. Types of stratified random sampling method. We have proportionate stratified sampling method and a disproportionate stratified sampling methods. When we say proportionate stratified sampling method, the size of sample depends on the size of subgroup or stratum. If the size of stratum is larger, then the size of sample that we took from such stratum should be larger. Disproportionate stratified sample means it doesn't depend on the size of each stratum. It is disproportionate with the size of the stratum. For example, here we have 30 women whose age is greater than 50. And if we categorize them like this, for example, Hispanic woman here, black woman, and white woman. This is one stratum. This is also another stratum. This is also another stratum. Then how can we select members of our sample? To do that, first let us look at disproportionate stratified sampling method. Here we may decide, for example, to take 4 from each stratum. We may decide to take 4 women from each stratum. That is disproportionate because the size of each stratum is not the same. Here we have 16, here we have 8, here we have only 6. But if we decide to take the same number, 4 from each stratum, at that time we are using disproportionate stratified sampling method. Another thing what we should check is that the members in each stratum should be homogeneous. They should have the same characteristics. For example, here all of them are Hispanic, the same characteristics. In another strata, all are black women. Here all of them white woman. That is basic point to use stratified sampling method. To use proportional stratified sampling method, firstly we need weight. To do weight, we divide sample size by total population size. For example, if we want to take 12, 12 women as a sample, 12, we divide 12 by 30. 30 means total number of population, that's a 30. We want to take 12 women out of 30. Then when we divide 12 by 30, we obtain 0.4. This is the weight. And to take sample from each stratum, this is the number of women in each stratum. In one stratum, 6, in another stratum, 8, and in another stratum, 16 women are there. And to take sample from each stratum, we multiply it by the weight, common weight. When we multiply this by this 6, when we multiply by 0.4 by 6, we obtain 2.4. Hence, we take approximately 2 from the first stratum, and from here we have 8 women. To do that, we multiply 8 by the weight. Weight is 0.4. It gives us 3.2. That is 3. And by doing like this, we obtain 3. And here we have multiplied 16 number of women in each stratum by the weight of such a stratum. We obtain approximately 7. When we add of them, when we sum up all, it gives us 12. This is proportional stratified sampling method. Let us talk about cluster sampling method. In case of cluster sampling method, we divide our population into separate groups, and those groups are called as clusters. And basic point here in case of clustering sampling method is that each cluster should have heterogeneous characteristics, or the characteristics of one cluster should represent the characteristics of population. Then we randomly select cluster. We do not select individuals under cluster sampling method. Rather, we select randomly clusters included. Thank you for attending my presentation.